Welcome back to the Lights Out podcast, bedtime stories for boys and girls around the world. Good evening, boys and girls. Are you ready for bed? Good. Are you ready for another Lights Out bedtime story? Very good, because tonight you're in for a treat with a book called
Millions of Cats. Once upon a time, there was a very old man and a very old woman. They lived in a nice, clean house, which had flowers all around it, except where the door was. But they couldn't be happy, because they were so very lonely. "If we only had a cat," sighed the very old woman. "A cat?" asked the very old man. "Yes, a sweet little furry cat," said the very old woman. "I will get you a cat, my dear," said the very old man, and he set out over the hills to look for one. He climbed over the sunny hills, he trudged through the cool valleys, he walked a long, long time, and at last he came to a hill which was quite covered with cats. Cats here, cats there, cats and kittens everywhere, hundreds of cats, thousands of cats, millions and billions and trillions of cats. "Oh!" cried the old man joyfully. "Now I can choose the prettiest cat and take it home with me." So he chose one. It was white, but just as he was about to leave, he saw another one, all black and white, and it seemed just as pretty as the first. So he took this one also. But then he saw a fuzzy grey kitten way over there, which was every bit as pretty as the other. So he took it too. And now he saw one way down in a corner, which he thought too lovely to leave. So he took this one too. And just then, over there, the very old man found a kitten which was black and very beautiful. "It would be a shame to leave that one," said the very old man. So he took it. And now, over there, he saw a cat which had brown and yellow stripes, like a baby tiger. "Oh, I simply must take it," cried the very old man. And he did. So it happened that every time the very old man looked up, he saw another cat which was so pretty he could not bear to leave it. And before he knew it, he had chosen them all. And so he went back over the sunny hills, down through the cool valleys, to show all his pretty kittens to the very old woman. It was very funny to see those hundreds and thousands and millions and billions and trillions of cats following him. They came to a pond. "Meow, meow, we are thirsty," cried the hundreds of cats, thousands of cats, millions and billions and trillions of cats. "Well, here's a great deal of water," said the very old man, and each cat took a sip of water, and the pond was gone. "Meow, meow, now we're hungry," said the hundreds of cats, thousands of cats, millions and billions and trillions of cats. "There's much grass on these hills," said the very old man. Each cat ate a mouthful of grass, and not a blade was left. Pretty soon the very old woman saw them coming. "My dear," she cried, "what are you doing? I asked for one little cat, and what do I see? Cats here, cats there, cats and kittens everywhere, hundreds of cats, thousands of cats, millions and billions and trillions of cats. But we can never feed them all," said the very old woman. "They'll eat us out of house and home." I never thought of that," said the very old man. "What shall we do?" The very old woman thought for a while, and then she said, "I know. We will let the cats decide which one we should keep." "Oh, yes," said the very old man, and he called the cats. "Which one of you is the prettiest?" "I am." "Meow, I am." "No, I am." "I am the prettiest." "I am." "No, no, I am." "Meow," cried hundreds and thousands and millions and billions and trillions of voices, for each cat thought itself the prettiest, and they began to quarrel. They bit and scratched and clawed each other, and made such a great noise that the very old man and the very old woman ran inside the house as fast as they could. They did not like such quarrelling, but after a while the noise stopped, and the very old man and the very old woman peeped out of the window to see what had happened. They could not see a single cat. "I think they must have eaten each other all up," said the very old woman. "It's too bad." "But look," said the very old man, and he pointed to a bunch of high grass. In it sat one little frightened kitten. They went out and picked it up. It was thin and scraggly. "Poor little kitty," said the very old woman. "Dear little kitty," said the very old man. "How does it happen that you were not eaten up with all those hundreds and thousands and millions and billions and trillions of cats?" "Oh, I'm just a very homely little cat," said the kitten. "So when you asked who was the prettiest, I didn't say anything, so nobody bothered me." They took the cat, or the kitten now, into the house, where the very old woman gave it a warm bath and brushed its fur until it was soft and shiny. Every day they gave it plenty of milk, and soon it grew nice and plump. "And it's a very pretty cat, after all," said the very old woman. "It's the most beautiful cat in the whole world," said the very old man. "I ought to know, for I've seen hundreds of cats, thousands of cats, millions and billions and trillions of cats, and not one was as pretty as this one." The end.
This is a story based on the story The Millions of Cats. Well, as you know, at the end of the story, the old woman and the old man go outside and they find a very beautiful cat. And it was the only cat that was left after all the millions and billions and trillions of cats all had a fight to decide who was going to stay. And that cat didn't think it was very beautiful, so it stayed quiet. And it was the only one left. Well, this is the story of what happened next. You see, the very old woman and the very old man were very pleased with the cat, and they brought it in, and it grew really well, and they fed it, and they washed it, and it was such a beautiful cat that they were very, very happy. But what they didn't know was that this cat was a very, very terrible cat. And in fact, this was a cat that killed all the hundreds and millions and billions and trillions of cats all by itself. And when the old man and old woman came out, it pretended to be so innocent and so quiet. But really, it was a terrible, terrible cat. Now, this terrible, terrible cat had a big plan, and the plan was being played out. After about 1 month, the very old man and the very old woman had forgotten about all those millions of cats, and they were really happy playing and feeding and washing this new little cat that was growing so well. But one night, as the old man and the very old woman was snoring in their bed, The little cat snuck outside and ran away. In the morning, the very old man and the very old woman woke up. "Kitty, where are you?"
I think he's gone for a walk,
said the very old man.
He'll come back later, maybe.
So they had breakfast, and they waited. At lunchtime, the cat had not returned, and the woman was starting to get a bit scared and a bit sad.
Don't worry, he'll come back soon, when he's hungry.
At dinner time, the cat had not come back, and so the very old woman started to feel very lonely again.
Oh, it's just like before, when we didn't have a cat. I'm feeling lonely. Don't worry, maybe he's gone to meet some friends. He'll be back tomorrow.
A day passed, and then another day, and finally a week had gone by, and the woman could bear it no longer.
"Go and find me another cat,"
she said to the very old man.
Okay, I'll go and find another one.
"And don't bring back millions of bloody cats, just one this time."
Okay.
And so the very old man started on his journey to look for a cat. Well, he walked miles and miles and miles, and he passed the place where he found the first lots of cats. And he kept going, and he walked through a forest and up a mountain and over the river, and he came to a cave. And as he was passing the cave, he heard meow coming from inside.
A cat, at last,
he thought to himself. And he went inside the dark, wet cave.
"Meow, help!"
he could hear as he walked through the dark tunnel with drip, drip on his head and squelch, squelch on his feet as he made the way down the dark, dark tunnel. The noise grew louder. Meow, meow. And finally he reached the end of the cave, and there, trapped under a big rock, half in the water, half out, was the cat that ran away.
Oh, it's you. What are you doing here?
"Help, I came here, but I got stuck."
So the very old man ran out and got a big long stick and wedged it under a small rock and heaved and heaved and lifted the big rock just enough that the little cat was able to get out. Well, the little cat hurt his legs, so the old man picked him up and started to take him back home. But just then, a very hungry, terrible, dirty, smelly, tired, big, grizzly bear came trudging back into the cave after looking for some food for 2 days straight. His belly was grumbling, and when he saw the old man carrying the cat, his growl rumbled and echoed the cave. "I'm gonna eat you, I'm so hungry," said the bear. The old man almost had a heart attack. He didn't know what to do. He thought,
I'm gonna die now, and I'm never gonna see the old woman, and the cat's probably gonna get eaten. Oh my gosh.
He almost fell over. But just as he was about to close his eyes, thinking the bear was going to bite his head off, the cat, this innocent, little, beautiful cat, that was in fact a terrible cat, snarled his little teeth and jumped, and with the 2 feet that weren't hurt, ripped the bear's head off and gobbled him up. The old man opened his eyes, expecting to be in heaven, was still in the dark cave. And there, in front of him, was the bear's foot. Just the foot. And there, in his arms,